What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy, Storyseller Jet, with another episode of the That's So Fire talk show. And today we have a very special guest in the house. His name is Brendan Boyd, and he's been crushing it with podcasts. And I know a lot of you guys, that's one of your major goal for 2026 to invest in podcasts or to, going out there and producing content. So if you are wanting to do this episode is for you. I don't want you to miss it. I need you to tune in. Tune in because we are about to drop fire. We are going to talk about today how to make $1 million podcast. Are you ready? Let's go, baby. There you have it. Brendan, such a pleasure having you on the show today. Let's go,
what's
baby.
Up, bro? Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
This is a That's So Fire.
That's So Fire production at Evolution
really
Studio.
Yeah, listen, man. What I'm gonna do right now, if you don't mind, I want to send this link out to a couple people. That's cool.
Let's go.
All right, so I already sent it to my community, but I want to make sure that we post this live right now. And just to show you guys that are watching this that we are 100% live, I'm gonna be doing a story real quick.
There you go. Let's do it. Let's have it.
So look, here we go. Pull it up. Hold on. Sometimes you always gotta wipe the screen off.
Make sure that we got some really good.
You guys out there shooting pictures for people, make sure you wipe off that screen. Listen, right now. Oh man. Okay, here we go. Sometimes it gets stuck. Right now we are live, Clearwater.
There you go. Let's go, baby.
Listen, if you want to tap into this podcast episode right now, click this link. We are live. Tap in. Let's go.
Happening right now. There you have it.
I'm ready.
Awesome.
Bro.
Ready? Yeah. Ready to rock and roll?
Let's go.
Let's go, baby. So, such a pleasure having you on the show today, Brendan. We've been chatting for a while now to, have you come up and share your knowledge and dropping some bums over here. So I'm super excited. It was kind of very impromptu too. Yeah. Like Brendan messaged me, what was it, like 2 days ago, saying, "Hey man, I'm in town. Let's rip it." So I'm super excited to have him here on the show. So we'll do a quick introduction of who Brendan is, and then we'll get rocking.
Yeah,
Are you ready?
Yeah. Let's get it, bro.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So who is Brendan Boyd?
Man, that's a question. It depends on how far you want to go back, man. But honestly, I'm just an individual that's passionate about becoming better. Dealing with my own identity as far as every single day working to become that person that God designed me to become at the highest level. And, sometimes when you're going through these challenges, you got to understand that, you might have 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 or 60 years of that person who you've been, and to really decide to do something greater, you got to now be this other individual. So you got to tap into this whole other identity, right? But let's say that story of like David and Goliath, rather. Goliath was big, brolic. You know what I'm saying? They even said he had multiple arms and stuff like this. Like he was like a giant. And David was a small dude with a sling. That's your old identity versus your new identity. So the old identity is like big, brolic, multiple arms. You think a certain way, you're programmed to do a certain thing. And then this new identity version that you want to tap into, like everybody that's watching this, or want to be, or want to have $1 million podcast, you got to tap into a brand new identity. So like new thoughts, new energy, new habits, new program. So that's who I am, man. I'm just someone that's striving for greatness. And I'm shedding my old identity every single day.
I love it. That's actually one of the very first questions that I typically like to ask people, because that really set the stage for where you are now and where you are going.
I got a question.
Yeah.
How come your glasses ain't got no lenses in them? Does anyone know that?
I don't think nobody noticed that.
That's a secret.
But that's a secret. It's a part of the brand, So like lights kind of reflects, sometimes in that. It actually doesn't look bad. It just kind of.
No, it looks good.
I want people to kind of like when they look at me, they see something entirely different. That I'm not striving for perfection. That like by doing that, people would associate better with me. But everything is red. Mm-hmm. The LED wall that we have here, red glasses.
You got the red kicks.
Red kicks.
Yep.
I've never shown those in the podcast before, so
listen, y'all getting some secrets today.
Red shirts and all of that. It's all part of branding.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many people that I've been going to, like maybe an event or a mastermind or different places, and they start yelling at me if I'm not wearing my glasses.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Last week, I was in San Diego attending the Collective Genius, which is a fantastic mastermind for real estate investors. And there was a guy that was looking for me. He is like their.
He's trying to find you by the glasses. Couldn't find you.
No, the thing that he told me, the way that he was able to find me is to look on the floor and look for the red shoes. So he's just like, man, you were part of the group and I could not find you. So I just kind of started looking on the ground and saw the red kicks and boom, there you were.
That's crazy.
So
that's the power of branding.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit in the show
Yeah.
too, because I know that you would have a lot of really great insight on that.
I'm indirectly wearing a shirt that I'm branding at the moment right now.
Yeah.
And it's it's Brendan Boy Speak. So that's like me when I speak, make content, or when I speak on the stage. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the very first question that I have for you is, what is your origin story?
Man, I guess we're going back, bro. So I shared this a little bit with Vega. Shout out to Visionary Vega, but
Shout out Vega. Let's go, baby.
I'm probably the how you say antithesis?
Antithesis?
Yeah, antithesis.
That's the wrong person that you are going to be asking that.
But yeah,
I have a super sexy accent. So when you ask me those kind of stuff, I may not pronounce it correctly.
So I'm the antithesis of my environment. You know what I mean? Like I grew up with no mom, no dad. My grandmother raised me, but she passed when I was young. My aunt passed, my uncle passed. You know, my great grandfather passed. One of my brothers got shot. So they call like the family nucleus, that the family that you would come home to on the holidays, or the family that you would have moments with, like, I just got my license and my dad was there, my grandmother was there, whomever. I didn't have those moments. My family passed away when I was very young, when I was an adolescent. So I'm just someone that learned lessons of what not to do at a younger age. And what's very interesting is that I've never felt sorry for myself. I never asked God why. I never was on so woe is me. Honestly, looked at it like a game of dice, right? Or a game of poker. Like when I rolled the dice, this is what I got. Or when the dice was rolled, this is what I got. And in a game of cards or a game of poker specifically, this is the hand I was dealt. So I just got to play my hand. And I look at my life like, okay, all the experiences that I had at some level, some of it I couldn't control. But when you have self-awareness, and if you want something greater, if you want to become more or become greater, now you have to actually take advantage of the hand I was dealt, that dice roll that you received, and it's not a situation where you can even have time to feel bad for yourself. At the end of the day, I feel like all the experiences that we went through are for others. It's not even for you.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can articulate my experiences to help someone, like if I could look at you right now and say, guess what? I saw my mom take me to crack houses. Not only did I see her take me to crack houses, I saw her shoot up and use drugs. So if your mom give you those same exact experiences, or if you lost your mom young, guess what? It's not your fault. And you can become greater because of it. Not it stopping you, but in despite of it, you can become whoever you want. You know what I'm saying? And that experience can help that individual. I heard this right now. You were thinking, damn, I don't got a dad, I don't got a mom, so I'm less than. Nah, you're greater because. Think about this. I lost my mom, dad, grandma, and tons of other family members. And then a lot of people haven't. And they get to grow up to be 30, 40, 50, and they still got all their people. Guess what? They're going to experience that heartache that I've been through.
Yeah.
And if they're friends of mine, I can offer them some type of solace, comfort. I can give them, my experience to help, give them a pillow for their experiences.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine if you had your parents for 40, 50 years or whatever the case may be, and y'all are super tight, and then they pass, and then it just stops you cold. And now you can't navigate life because your mom turns into your best friend. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, as human beings, we all have the same fate. We all have the same problem. That problem is we're all going to die. Mm-hmm. They haven't figured out how to make us live forever yet. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, all of us are going to die, right? So people that experience death younger, and have been able to kind of like maturate out of it and grow because of it, they're here to help other people that are going to feel those same pain later in life.
Yeah.
And some people, they might fall off because of it, right? When you can grow stronger because you use all those experiences to make you a better person. So for me, it was never like, damn, like, I wish my mom was here right now. I was like, nah, my mom had 33 years on this life.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? 15 of them, half of her life essentially, I was there for. So I'm blessed to experience what I got and what I recall of what she taught me. Okay, cool. My grandma, she died the next year. She died in her 50s. So like I was around for 16 years of her life, and those moments and experiences of what she taught me, I can take those with me. My dad wasn't really in my life, but he died when I was 12. Whatever memories I have from him, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm blessed to have the memories in the years.
Yeah.
Because we're not supposed to have unlimited years with the people.
Yeah.
But we have to use the time and use it wisely and understand that time is really the most important and most valuable commodity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, okay, we mentioned this before the podcast episode. Anthony Joshua, he was just in a car accident. That literally, like, yo, 2 people passed away. He could have been one of those 2 people.
Absolutely.
Now he has an experience that may mark his life forever. There might be a foundation that comes out of that.
Absolutely.
There might be a brand new piece of technology to be more safer in cars that might come out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He might have been on the way to a business deal, and because that happened, that deal didn't happen, or maybe that deal delayed. It could be the best thing that happened to him. So we never know what it is.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people out there, they're looking at tragedies and also like hardship in their life as a negative. But once you kind of learn about all of those, and that's why it's also really important when you are creating content to kind of using those experiences and incorporating them into the content that you're creating, that makes everything more relatable, more personal, personable. And actually people will connect more with your content if you decided to do that instead. So I call that magnetic authority.
Oh,
so
okay.
as you're kind of building that to kind of incorporate those like moments of failures, moments of success, moments of hardship into your story to be able to tell better stories so other people can self-identify with your stories.
You know who Dan Henry is?
Yes.
So
we mentioned him in the podcast right before that.
Okay, so Dan Henry used to live in this area, but he doesn't live in this area anymore. But I saw a piece of content that he put up, I think yesterday or the day before. And he was talking about, first of all, he was just talking about posted content. And he was like, if you are just posting, because it's how we talk, if you are just posting podcast clips, you're an idiot. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? That's the hook. But basically he's saying, if you're just posting clips that are just rants, you're an idiot. What you should be doing is you should be posting content that is structured, that has a script, and so it can be more intentional. But the thing that he said that really made me gravitate to that message, and it really adds on to what you just said, is the lesson. So if you can pull a lesson from your personal experience, and you can extract that lesson and take that lesson and put it into content, that's the most valuable form of magnetic
authority
that you can give someone, because it's so authentic and it's so raw. Like the reason why your glasses don't have lenses in them can connect with me. As a matter of fact, I might either like you more because of it, or I'm gonna go out and do one or two things. I'm gonna pop out my lenses, or I'm gonna get the same exact glasses, right? And because of the power of brand and because of magnetic
authority,
you can turn those into merch.
Yep.
Right? So you can come on a podcast, hey, boom, because you was a guest on a pod, I want to give you this, boom. Or hey, book a podcast, upsell the glasses.
Yeah.
Wear the glasses on a podcast with Jet.
Yeah. It's actually like extremely important. And that's actually one of the reasons why I created an AI software that basically on the front end, it asks you 174 questions.
That's a lot of questions, bro.
I know it's a lot.
Are they multiple choice?
No, actually, it's actually building a foundation and library for whenever you're writing content in the future.
What's the percentage of people that finish those questions?
So I had somebody, again, there's different levels of it.
Okay.
Like you can do 10 questions, but if you do answer all of those questions, now like whenever you're writing content, like let's say you wanted to write a content about, X, Y, and Z, you type that in the platform. Now he goes back and find out like the perfect story or perfect analogy.
Yeah, I like it.
And then incorporating that into your content. But the cool thing about that too, as you're answering all of those 170 questions, it's writing scripts for you. So by the time you answer the 170 questions, you then now have 170 scripts that you can write.
Is that free or they got to pay for that?
So right now it's only for people that come and use the studio.
I was gonna say, that has to be a paid offer.
Yeah. So I had the guy come here in a day and a half that went through that software. Day and a half, shot 174 videos. Day and a half. So now he has like a whole, and those are like evergreen content as well. So he's good for like 6 months. So
I'm gonna have to pull up and do the same thing.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
You know what's cool about that is because, and this is something else I can share with y'all, right? I know how to make content, and I have some softwares I use. Obviously I study people to make content, and I'm starting to make even better content. But what's dope is like, I fancy myself as a professional, but I can come over to you. We can not just collaborate, but I can invest in your offer because that's my hallmark. I feel like you should pay people for the expertise, but I can run through your framework, and not only can I get some from it, I can be a student now, and then just let you lead that, and then just see what comes out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So
the biggest thing that y'all can do is always be coachable and always invest in yourself, and don't even think that, hey, I'm at a certain level, so I don't need to invest anymore, or I'm at a certain level, or I should get this for free, or I'm at a certain level, so I can't learn anymore. Nah, you can always be learning.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as we're gonna dive really quick into how to make $1 million in podcasts.
Let me share something else, because you talk about the origin story.
Okay, cool.
I'm a vegan.
You are a vegan.
I feel like I gotta start saying that more. I'm a vegan because it's something that most people don't know, but it also turns into a cool talking point. So if you're a vegan out there, you can come out the shadows and like promote your veganism. But I'm not like a hardcore. So I'm not like, I'm gonna still wear fur. I'm gonna still wear some leather. I'm just conscientious about eating animal products. That's all.
Yeah. Man, kudos to you, because I can never do it. I love my chicken.
You love the flesh?
I love my chicken too much.
He loves the flesh. Jet loves the flesh.
Yeah. But before we dive into the conversation on how to make $1 million with your podcast, for anybody that is tuning in right now, I want to let you know this is going to be fire. I hope you have a pen and paper. And if you want to connect with Brendan, go to Instagram. It's Brendan Boyd. Okay. So if you want to connect with him, he has tons of value over there. And also if you want to go to YouTube as well. And if you want to learn more about the podcast that we are on to, go to YouTube. It's called DSF Talk Show on YouTube to make sure that you follow. We post clips and really great conversation like we're having right now on there. So make sure that you go and subscribe to our channel. But again, it's Brendan Boyd on Instagram, at DSF Talk Show on YouTube. Ready to dive into the how to make $1 million in podcasts?
I'm ready to dive in, man. I had to share the link out to a couple more people. Let me ask you a question. Since we're live, and shout out to everyone that's watching, are we able to take questions too?
We can.
At some
so
point?
we'll just
if they drop the questions in
Yeah, for
okay,
sure.
Cool. Yeah,
I'll ask my brother right now to put
engage.
this question up so we can read them up
right.
for that. So yes, if you are tuning in and you have question, please drop it up, and then we'll try to answer anything like that too.
Yeah. Let's get busy, bro.
Yeah, man, I should have thought about that. I could have set up another camera. If you needed anything to explain, you could have go to the digital board over there and explain it.
Yes,
maybe next time.
I guess you gotta have me come back for that.
Yes, sir.
Lit. That'd be super lit.
Awesome. So before we dive into that, how did you get started in podcast?
Great question, man. So this is gonna go back to 2018. One of my day one friends, David Hill, shout out to David. We was on the way, probably get some food in Boston, and he was like, "Yo, bro, you know what you should start doing? You should start vlogging." I was like, "Why?" He was like, "Cause your life is kind of interesting." I was like, "All right, well, let's just go get a camera, cause that's the type of person I am. You say something, I'm gonna just take the action, right?" So went to Best Buy. I got a Canon M50. And then since then, I just started making content. So I would just start vlogging and stuff like that. I was a realtor at the time. And what I noticed was when I wanted to connect to high net worth people, it would be a little tough to lock it in, you know what I'm saying, for those conversations or those meetings or whatever. But once I had this vlog thing I was doing, and I said, hey, I would like to just do an interview with you for my YouTube, because I knew it wasn't part, it was just YouTube. Everyone said yes. Like everyone, brokers, developers, entrepreneurs, builders, engineers, everyone said yes. So epiphany, you know what I'm saying? Blue ocean strategy. I was like, damn, everyone's saying yeah. So I just started doing more interviews. And again, it wasn't a podcast. So I was just doing more interviews. Eventually I moved out of Boston. And when I get to LA, this is like 2019, something that was like, yo, I think this is a pod. I just need to put these on the audio format. So now it's on YouTube and it's on, Spotify and Google Podcasts and, Apple Podcasts. So then I had that moment, another epiphany. I was like, okay, cool. I'm doing a podcast. So I just started interviewing people that I wanted to talk to, I wanted to learn from, that had a higher value, let's say, conversation, or were really killing it in their space. And everyone just kept saying, yeah, Jet. They just kept saying, yeah. So that's when I realized that the podcast is a cheat code for relationship building, unlocking information, and then just leveraging. Plus, at the same time, you're creating content which could be used later.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much as far as I got at that moment, because I was still doing real estate, but I had this powerful tool that I was leveraging to develop relationships and have like fire and quality conversations. So it was like 2018 when I picked up the camera. 2021 is when I felt like I had something, you know what I'm saying? And then just start develop from there.
Yeah. I'm going to get a question from the audience, and I'm going to come
questions?
back. Yeah, we're already having questions.
Yo,
but
what up, fellas?
This one is from mentor, somebody is very dear to my heart. Shout out to Sammy. What's good, Sam? I think I have a question over here. What's more important if you start a podcast, if you have to pick one? The quality of your product, sound, video, or the quality of your content that you're talking about?
Sammy, that is first of all, that's a fire question, and thank you for asking it. And I think it's a very common question. I literally just put up a piece of content today. Sammy, go to @it's Brendan Boyd, ITSBRENDAN. Look at the very last post, the most recent post I just put up. You're probably gonna laugh and just tag me or leave a comment underneath it. It's literally a parody. I'm running down the street. I got my phone. Then it transitioned to my phone and a mic. I'm still running. Then it transitioned to my phone, my mic, and a light. I'm still running. Then it transitioned to a phone, a mic, light, and a monitor. I'm still running. Then it transitioned to a phone, mic, light, monitor, and a bag. See, podcasters think they need all this equipment. But bro, if you just start with your phone, you're good. If you just start with StreamYard or Riverside, you're good. I wouldn't even get no equipment unless you prove to yourself, or until you prove to yourself that you can have conversations consistently. Once you can prove to yourself that you're going to show up for yourself and do the thing consistently, then level up. Because the individual that you have on your pod, or if you're going to do a solo show, they don't care what you're coming with. They just want the thing. So if you show up and it's just your phone, were they going to leave and not do the interview? No, they're still going to do it. And you can be like, well, I'm going to use AI. I'm going to clean up the sound. But I shoot with my phone.
Yep.
They're going to do it. If you decide, hey, I just shoot on Riverside or StreamYard or Ecamm, and all you got to do is use your phone to show up, they're going to show up. So I guess what I'm saying is just start with what you have. If you have a phone or you got 2 phones, use that. If you got 1 phone and a Bluetooth mic, use that. If you want to shoot at the crib and you want to get a software like StreamYard, Ecamm, Riverside FM, get that. The most important thing is that you do the thing and that you're consistent. Once you're consistent, then invest in some equipment. Don't think that you need to be like here in these fire studios, streaming with high-level production and an engineer that happens to be family with multiple locations, right? Before you can start. Because that would create a lot of anxiety and stress for someone. They'd be like, damn, I can't start because I don't got the jet look.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't got the digital whiteboard, you know what I'm saying? Or the fire lights. I can't start. Start with what you have, prove to yourself that you can do it, and then just focus on the intention. I always say this first. If you focus on the intention, you're gonna know exactly what you want out of it. So what do you want to do? I want to have 50 conversations with high-level people in the real estate space. You know what? I wanna make my first $1,000. You know what? I wanna have 1 conversation a week for the entire year 2026 of 7-figure earners. Have that intention. Start with what you have. It's gonna take on a life of its own. That's how we get busy.
Yeah. To add to that too is like, yeah, start with what you have. But if you have your phone, people typically they want, either phone, lights, or mic. Those are the 3 things that they typically like to talk about themselves. If you have your phone, I think audio first, video
100%.
second, and then lights third. So if you have, you can go to like Amazon or something like that and get one of those like super cheap mic from DJI.
Don't get the soup. Oh, DJI is cool.
DJI is DJI is awesome.
Get a reputable brand for the audio.
Yeah.
Don't get a no-name audio mic when you're ready to get some audio. That
because
matters.
if the audio is bad, nobody's gonna want to tune in, even if the video might be be shot with a 6K camera.
It's almost better that you have just your phone or a Fire camera and no audio. Do you have a Fire camera, Fire phone, and turbo audio?
Yeah. And then once you have the phone and you have your mic, just place yourself facing the windows, like where the sun is kind of shining, and you're gonna have really high quality in there. So we'll post that link over here, Sammy. But once you get started and kind of start posting on that, but it's also now this place to kind of have a really cool spot to come and shoot. The most important thing for that is consistency. That's why the studio helps you to do that, because now you can show up, record your content. Now you have some people that are very knowledgeable about their cameras, about the set, to be able to set that up. So now you're not worried about creating content. And also you are in a pretty cool space too. That kind of elevates your authority. Like if somebody goes, now you're getting traction, somebody goes to your page and see that you are sitting in a super cool studio, that elevates your authority as well. But
Facts.
Do not let this be.
Yeah. See? Yeah. Right now you're frightening people. You gotta calm down. You frightening people. I just gave them a super easy look. You're like, hey, production, studio. But consistency is important. So he's right with the consistency.
Consistency is key.
That's the most
like 100%. Again, like, start simple, put your reps in, and then elevate buying equipment and doing all of that.
Like so I have this thing called the Foundational 4, right? What you guys get, okay, before we even talk about that, and I you teed up how you want to start, but before we talk about that, podcasting is like golf. If you wanted to play golf, you need equipment, you need a membership. Podcasting could be an extremely expensive hobby to get into, because now you might think, Brenda said just start. I'm gonna just start what I got. This ain't expensive. Aha, you forgot about the editing part. Now the editing, that's when things can really start adding up. If you're not going to be shooting and then editing on your own, or if you come to, this studio what's it called again for the people?
Evotion Studios.
If you come to Evotion Studios and you want to book some time or get a subscription, now you got to think about, damn, I got to pay the subscription. I got to pay the engineer, or if it's in that package and I got to pay for the editing, damn, it's expensive. So then again, you got to think about, well, how can I monetize what I have going on so I can at least cover the costs of me putting out my IP to the world. So podcasting is very parallel to golf, because if I wanted to golf, I have to pay for clubs. I have to get a fit. I can't show up to the golf course like this. Some places ain't gonna let me show up. The public places, yeah. But if I want to go to a country club, I gotta look the part. They're not gonna give me entry. I gotta pay for a caddy possibly, or the cart, and I gotta pay to play. It could be very expensive. So a podcast is the same way. So you have to understand what's my intention, and then how am I going to ensure that this podcast can cover itself, because I really like having these conversations with Jet. I really like covering what's going on, in politics. I really like what's going on, in popular culture. I really like talking about sports, right? You can't do that if you can't cover the cost. You're going to be part of the over 200 plus podcasts that are on Apple Podcasts right now that no longer exist. They're in podcast purgatory. You don't want to be in that place. It's kind of a lonely place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So for anybody that is just starting with podcasting right now, what would be your number one advice for them?
If you're starting right now, you got to have an intention. Why are you creating content for? Are you creating content because it's cool? You want some shine? You want a little bit of fame? Or do you have something valuable that you want to share? So I think identifying the intention is the most important thing. I will also say this. Your goal can just be to show up consistently on camera. Your goal could just be to create consistent content. Your goal could be, I want to be a better speaker, a better orator. I want to work on not saying the ums and the ands and the likes and the this and the, you know what I'm saying? You can get all of those you could practice rather on all of those in real time. It'll just make you better. So even if your goal is just to meet great people, get some exposure, and just work on your presence, that might be enough. But if you want to cover, like, one of my big purchases, well, not even big purchases, but one of my first proud moments is when, in podcasting, when my podcast covered my car note. I thought that was lit. And I realized that I didn't need heavy streams. I didn't need fire. I didn't need crazy downloads. I didn't need crazy views to get my, let's call it a $900 car payment and $200 insurance, which was $1,100 a month covered. I didn't need 100,000 views. I just needed 11 people. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, my car is free. So I'm just riding around free. So I think identifying the intention of what you want to get out of it, and then attaching that intention to what the expenses are. So identifying intention and then connected it to the expenses. And then you rolling.
Yeah. What do you think are the biggest misconceptions that a lot of people have when they're thinking about starting a new podcast?
For some reason, they're thinking, one, is going to be hard, and two, that to monetize it, they're going to need a brand deal or a sponsor. I mean, I have strategies on that for sure. I can teach you how to get a brand deal or a sponsor, but I think those are the two main things. One, they're going to think it's hard. They're going to think they need to be in Evotion Studios. And then two, oh yeah, I'm gonna just monetize this joint. I'm gonna get a brand deal, bro. And that's not, both of those are fallacies.
And how do they overcome those misconceptions that you just...
You overcome those misconceptions with real information. So I have this thing that I call the Foundational 4 framework. If you install the Foundational 4 framework, you'll be able to get that $1,100, or you'll be able to cover your expenses with your intention and be able to at least still show up doing your show.
Yeah.
right? Now, that foundational four framework is what you should be focusing on as a podcaster, creator, or YouTuber if you want to have a profitable show or a profitable podcast.
So, what are those foundational four framework that people can use to elevate their podcast?
I thought you might not ask. So the foundational four is number one, digital products. So what a digital product is you want to take your information and you want to package that information up, and you can start with an ebook or a mini course, right? So let's say you're a realtor, you want to have a real estate podcast, or you want to talk about what's going on in real estate. You can create an ebook. So here's a good example. Let's say you're a buyer's agent. What's one of the issues with buyer's agents? When people want to buy a house, they always have to go get buying ready. Most buyers are never ready to buy a house. They got to always double back. Oh, I got to get my credit right. I got to save up my deposit. I got to fix my taxes. I got to do all these different things. So if you just create an ebook, let's call it like the Buyer's Bible, get ready to purchase a house in 90 days or less. Oh, that's actually fire. Y'all don't steal that, but you can steal that, right? And it was $27. Now people were buying your digital product and getting ready. So now when they come back to you, because throughout the Buyer's Bible of how they can buy a house with you for in under 90 days, you can have call to action back to booking a call. So once they finish the checklist that's going to go through the chapters, they can now book a call with you. Now they're buying ready. And now they're ready for you to help them go buy a house. So that's number one, digital products. Now you could take that same information and you could put it into an ebook, a mini course, a live training. It can go on and on and on, right? Number two, you want to have a paid podcast community. So I'll give you an example. What's a trip that you would like to go on?
I mean, there is a bunch of different trips, but I would like to go to Europe and spend time in France and Spain.
Okay, boom. So we're going to France and Spain. All right, we're leaving from Tampa, right? We're flying out. Boom. Now, you and I both on the same plane. We're going on the same trip, right? You like, Brendan, can't wait for the trip. I'm like, yo, bro, I can't wait. I can't wait either. You decide that you're going to do first class. I decide that I'm going to do economy. What's the difference? We're going to get there at the same time. We're on the same plane. We're going to hopefully experience the same trip. But the difference is access. You get on the plane first. You got a pillow. You got a blanket. It might be one-seater or a two-seater. You're sitting next to another high-level individual that spent the same amount of money or more for that seat. You're getting food while I'm still getting on the plane. You get off the plane first. They know you by their first name. You get to chat with the captain. The flight attendant even taught you way nicer than they talked to me. You pay for the access. It's the exact same thing in the paid podcast community. Even if you only got 50 people that watch your podcast every single week, at least 10% of them really like your show. That's 5 people. Those 5 people would pay for more access. What's more access? Being able to come to Evotion Studios doing a podcast, maybe have a Zoom call with you once a week, maybe get access to some of your ideas, maybe get access to a private live stream of certain shows, maybe get access to some behind the scenes information from guests that you have come on. Maybe you extract the top 10 things for every single show and you put those things into, hey, this is a hit list that you guys get every single week from 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs I have on the show. So instead of you watching the full podcast, which obviously you should, but just in case you don't got time, here's the top 10 things that each of the guests said. And you give that every single month. I mean, you get access to that every single month. And it's only $99 a month. So you only need 11 people to get that car. Now your car note's paid for, right? Now your insurance is taken care of. And you didn't need 11,000 people or 110,000 streams or 1 million downloads. You just needed 11 people that wanted access to your podcast that you're ignoring and you're selfish because you don't even have that offer. Number 3, affiliate marketing. Kanye said this best back in 2013 or 2015. You are a celebrity. Now this brand over here wants to connect with this platform, your platform, right? There's brands that provide solutions to problems that they already have. And all you got to do is share the information on your podcast. Guess what? You don't got to sell nothing, no delivery, no customer service. You got to hold no inventory, no IT. And all you got to do is share. What are you going to get? You might get 20% of every time they pay that person, you might get 20% recurring every single month. You might get $50 a month. You might get $100 a month. Don't you know ADP do payroll? I don't know if they still have this offer, but the last time I checked, they had it. They would give you $500 every single time a client signs up for payroll, and they would distribute that in packages of 10. Meaning every time you got 10 clients that got payroll, that's $5,000 to you. And guess what? You don't got to teach them about payroll. You got to have no payroll trainings. Nothing. All you got to do is share. Hey, what's up, y'all? This episode is brought to you by XYZ Payroll. Hey, if you're an entrepreneur or business person and you got to get your payroll together, it's time for you to start paying yourself. Click the link below and get access to xyzpayroll.com. Yeah, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea because like some of those people that already have those affiliate things set up, and then now you don't even need to go out there and finding those sponsors to kind of be able to do that. You get those people that already have those things on their own platform, and use that as a way for you to promote or to make money from your podcast.
Bro,
by just kind of
it gets spooky.
Yeah,
when you really put it together. Do we talk about stacking the foundational floor? And then the last thing is what I like to call the VIP package. And when I first found your platform, I was like, oh, Jack got a VIP package. So if you go to your website and you apply to be a guest, you can be a guest for free, or you can have the paid version. That paid version is actually a VIP package. So the VIP package is typically how I teach podcasters to monetize first. Because all you're doing is repackaging and reselling the content that you're creating with the guest in real time. Because that content is way more valuable to them if they understand I can use this content for branding. I can use this content to redistribute. I can use this content to get my messaging out there, and I can use it forever because it's evergreen. Okay, cool. Here's some clips. Here's the raw. Here's some behind the scenes. Here's the pictures. Here's everything that we just cooked up, and it's only gonna be $1,000 or $2,000. Well, imagine if you got a 50% conversion rate. You interview 4 people, and two of those people took it. You just made $2,000 this month, and you didn't have to do nothing but offer them the content that you were just gonna store in the SSD anyway, and do nothing with it, right? Or you made $4,000 if the offer is $2K, or maybe it's $500. You just made a cool $1,000. Guess what? You're sitting on digital gold that you're not even offering, and that might be the first way for you to monetize. Because if I came on your show for free and that was offered to me, more than likely I'm taking that because I know how valuable the content is. So that's the foundational for.
I love it. I love it. So for anybody that just started a podcast that want to grow their YouTube page, what are some of the strategies that they can use to ensure that they're consistently growing that YouTube page, with whether it's like from creating reels or posting like shorts and long form content?
Yeah, so I think what's working right now is obviously being consistent. So having a podcast strategy, you know what I'm saying, or redistribution strategy. What are you gonna do with the content after it's cooked up, right? So we're talking about YouTube specifically. Let's say this particular episode, boom, this episode's going live. So once it's over, it's gonna be out there. But what else can we do with it? We could edit it and redistribute it. We could chop it up into segments, 5 to 10 minute blocks, right? That we can release. We could drop, let's say, 20 clips. So your redistribution of this particular episode you can have at least 1 or 2 drops on YouTube for the next week, let's just say. Now you're feeding the platform that wants you to give it content. Let's say that's number 1, all right? Now, during that release, what does YouTube want? They want more people to be on their platform. What category are you in? So now what I would do is I would create content that solves the problem of the audience that is watching my show or the audience that is the category that I'm speaking to. Because now when they search up those problems, they're going to find my video because I'm literally engineering content that is going to speak to them or solve the problem that they have in real time. That's going to create more people that's going to create more watch time on my podcast or on my YouTube channel. So I got the podcast going crazy. I got individual pieces of content that's solving problems for my avatar that's going crazy. Then you want to throw in a live element. Then you want to go on other people's podcasts or other people's YouTube channels because it's easy for you to be found if you're in a place where people can find you. So now you say, hey, your audience in real time is learning about me. What are they going to go do now? They're going to go to my YouTube channel to find me out. Next thing I would do is I would make sure I have an email marketing strategy and a text message marketing strategy because when you release content, you want people to now interact with that content. And the easiest thing that most people never do, you know what that is?
Not messaging their people or sending emails to make sure that they go watch those content on YouTube?
Yes, but even simpler than that.
What is it?
They never even tell the people to subscribe. They don't even tell the people to watch. So if you want to grow your channel, but you never tell people, hey, subscribe to my channel, it's going to grow way slower. So listen, if you're watching this right now, subscribe to my channel. You're going to have a better chance of people doing the thing that you want them to do if you direct them and lead them and tell them what you want them to do. So I think having a strategy, having a plan, your keyword, being consistent, and don't think about getting 100,000 subscribers today. Worry about getting subscribers every day.
I love it. Just quick question, not question. Jeff, can you move the questions in the center of the screen so I can make sure that I read them? Perfect. Thank you. Can you scroll up a little bit? We had a question for somebody. How can I make 5K with 100K followers on social media?
Man, that's a good question.
Yeah. So how can somebody make 5K with 100K followers on social media?
I think there's a lot of ways to make money on social media, but if we want to be specific, two things I would do right now. I would say, hey, what's the offer that you have? I would create a offer for that offer, or I would take your idea and create a package for that offer. So let's say, okay, since we're talking about podcasting, let's say I want to put a program together. I'll teach you how to monetize your podcast in, let's say, 30 days, right? So I would put out a story and I would put out a piece of content post, say, hey, listen, if you want to learn how to monetize your podcast in the next 30 days, comment podcast. Now, that offer could be 5K and you just need one person to take it. Or that offer could be $1,000 and you just need 5 people to take it. So having 100K subscribers doesn't necessarily matter, but it can make it easier, meaning you got a lot of people that should be able to take this offer, right? So I would package up an offer, I would put it on your story, I would post it on your platform, and I would tell people where they need to go to interact, comment or DM, and I would have as many conversations as I can in the DM, give them not hella details, but tell them exactly the problem that you're going to solve, and then give them a way to pay you. There's your 5K.
Love it. Jeff, the way that you have it was good. In center, move it over there. Next question for you. What are some of the strategies? Obviously, you've alluded to a few of them already, but what are some of the really good strategies that you have to help people monetize their podcast?
First off, podcasters that they have to first understand that you don't even have a podcast.
Are you asking me a question or just like the pause over here?
No, I was just creating some
drama over here.
Y'all don't even have a podcast. What does that mean? Y'all are just making content with cameras. You wasting your time. You making content with cameras. You shooting YouTube just to shoot YouTube. You creating just to create. 90% of y'all don't even have a business around your podcast. You don't have an LLC. You don't got a business address. Don't have a business phone number. Don't have a business email. You're not structured right on the business side. So you just having fun. the first thing that you need to do is structure your podcast up correctly so now you can get access to funding as a media business and you can invest in the thing that you say that you do. Now you actually have a podcast, and that podcast is in part of your media business. Once you have this, you can actually access funding. You can go to a Bank of America, you can go to a Truist, a PNC, you can go to a Navy Federal, or you can go to any regional bank and get access to some funding. Now you actually have an asset that is fundable. You can invest in better lighting, an engineer, a studio, equipment, whatever you want to, or maybe just something that's going to be cash flowing so you can grow your asset. Once you have that, now you're ready to cook, right? So what podcasts need to understand is you can't make money if you don't have an offer. Building a podcast or YouTube channel with brand deals isn't a business. It's like digital panhandling. Because what happens if a brand decides to, you know what, our budget's cut? Or what if a sponsor's like, nah, we're kind of cool. And most podcasters don't even have the resiliency to go hit up 1,000 brands to bring in the money. They're gonna hit up 1 or 2 of them and be like, nah, this brand it's not working. Or they're gonna wait for this. The digital DM knocking. Bro, that ain't coming. Your show ain't that fire. You know what I'm saying? So you have to build offers around your show so you can monetize with your show, which is we can install the foundational for. But guess what? We already talked about that. Y'all should have took notes. So how we take it to the next level? Okay, what skill set can you attach to it and what problems can you solve? Right? So it might be, hey, for me, it was helping people get on podcasts. That's a high ticket offer. It was, let's say, podcast coaching. That's a high ticket offer. It was, you know what? Developing a live show, putting 100 plus people in the audience and then bringing guests on and giving them the platform that they can speak in front of the audience and then solve their problems and then offer their products and services. So what you got to understand is you have to build an offer around your show or use affiliate marketing and tap in with an entrepreneur that might have a higher level offer or stack some affiliates. Now you can actually see, okay, how do I want to make $1 million podcast? Okay, cool. If I have an offer and my offer is $15,000 and I'll show up consistently and I use my podcast to cash strategy, which we can break down. Mm-hmm. And all I need to do is have 67 sales. I just grossed $1 million. See, once you get clear, you get some direction, you get some understanding, and you start operating this thing as a hobby, you can understand, you can actually get to your goals by leveraging media or making it the main thing. But you have to understand, okay, cool. I have a podcast. Guess what it really is? It's a lead magnet. It's lead generation. Okay, if people are watching my show every week, every day, whatever, okay, I gotta give them something. I gotta have something to give them. Because some people are gonna want to tap in with you. So if you don't have a 5K thing, a 10K thing, a $15,000 thing, that's cool. Start off with a $500 thing.
Yeah,
2,000 sales of $500 is still $1 million.
Yeah, different way to eat the horse, as they say.
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. Or yeah. That was awesome. And I think this is probably the biggest mistake a lot of people think, like when they are thinking about building their podcast or building their social media thing or building their YouTube. They all focus on getting followers, getting subscribers, because they think that the answer is YouTube basically paying them for their content.
And YouTube can manipulate like how much they want to pay you, when they want to pay you, right? Oh, if the payments was this last year, but now they this year, they can manipulate. You don't even have control over that.
Yeah. But the best way to do that, obviously, the icing on the cake could be the money that you're getting from YouTube. But the best way to do it is to really focus on building those offers that you described around your podcast. So that way, when you're producing those types of content, they're driving those people to buying those offers that you already have. That's the way to make money on YouTube. Or posting on social media.
Bro, you can make it so easy. let's say you got a podcast, and let's say you lock in with a real estate investor or something like that. Let's say you don't have an offer, but they do, but you got the podcast and they don't. You can have an affiliate with them or a partnership with them. Like, hey, listen, I'll interview whoever you want in this space. You teach me a little bit about how to, close these deals, or maybe I'll book people once they come on the show and I send them to you. If you close the deals on them, you kick me back 20%. And now look, now you're able to do the same thing, and you don't even have to develop an offer. You just use an affiliate from the real estate guy.
Yeah, absolutely. We have another question here from Sammy. How do you navigate the intersection of podcasting and social media? Do you start on social media to build a platform and then podcast, or do you do both and post clips on social media?
Yo, Sammy out here asking some really fire questions, bro. So to be honest with you, what I would say is, again, it's intention. So social media and YouTube are basically like different things. Like YouTube is social media, but YouTube, it doesn't function like the other social media platforms. YouTube is the number one platform. Like right now, let me show you this. Let me show you what I just saved really quick, because I think it's super relevant, right? I'm gonna pull it up. Let me just go to the DMs, right? Okay, right here it says, what did it say?
Most used online platform by Americans, number one, YouTube.
So YouTube by Americans is used 84% of the time, followed by Facebook, followed by Instagram, right? So what is the nuances of YouTube? The nuances of YouTube is that it's a search engine. When you go on YouTube, primarily you go on there to find out how to do things, or to learn something, or to solve a problem. Because if you type in the question, YouTube is going to give you the answer via video. So if I'm going on YouTube, I understand if I have a podcast, it's going to be viewed very differently on here than it's going to be viewed on social media. So if, again, go back to attention. If my intention is I want to have my show in as many places as possible, then I would just go to YouTube, shoot my podcast, distribute it, take those clips, drop it on every social media. Because now, at least in the meantime, you'll be seen daily across everything. But if I'm already on social and I'm like, I want to grow, this might be a great time for you to pivot and add in long form content, because now you can be viewed and grow that know, like, trust in that brand longer on YouTube, because people will spend more time on you, but you still keep your social presence. It always goes back to intention. What do you want? So I would say do them together. And if you're just starting out, maybe you either want to do a live show, so it's not like a lot of production, or maybe you just do one show a week that you can just focus on. Hey, I'm gonna shoot this on Wednesdays, right? Or I'm gonna shoot this on Thursdays, or Fridays I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna just put the camera on. I'm gonna just do my regular thing. That's how you would start for the most part. But again, it goes back to intention. You just want to be everywhere, or do you want to start building brand?
Yeah. Would you recommend somebody to have their podcasts at the exact same times every single week?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend that, because now you're building trust and reliability with that viewer. Hey, listen, every Wednesday at 7:30 we go live. Every Wednesday at 7:30 we drop a new episode. So now you're giving people something to look forward to. That's how much that's how valuable it can be when you start building connection, right? Because let's say I miss you this week and the week after. Oh, I know, yeah, Wednesdays at 7:30. Like, I already built up. So like, that's all shows like Stranger Things, or let's say, remember back in the day, I don't know if you ever watched Entourage. Like some of our favorite shows back in the day, Mondays at 8, Fridays at 6. Like, you would get excited. You would build your life around when these shows would air, so you can make sure that you catch them. So yeah, I think that's extremely important.
Awesome. What are some of the strategies that you're currently using right now to grow your followings on? I know you have a substantial following on Instagram and also on YouTube. What are some of the strategies that you are utilizing right now to grow your followings on social media?
I think right now what you got to do is you got to create like 3 different types of content. So you got to create content that's going to just attract people. So this is going to be content that's going to be, let's say, exposure driven. So what I mean by that is you look for content that's already performing. So maybe it's something that already went viral, and maybe it's somebody that's already in your space that's going viral with a certain type of content, or maybe there's just something that's trending out there in social media. You want to take that and flip that, in your way. That's going to be attention getting. The whole point of that piece of content is just to drive people to you, new people to the page. That's one. Secondly, you want to make sure that you also provide hella value. This type of content, you're demonstrating your expertise. This is Jet. This is what Jet does. This is how I can help you. This is a quick way that you can get a quick win. XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. And then our last piece of content style, this is where you're now talking about what you might want. Hey, listen, I got a free training. This is my offer. I have an event. I got this. I got that. You use those simultaneously, and you put those on the schedule. So it might be Monday I do this, Tuesday I do this, Wednesday I do this. Or maybe Monday at 9, at 12, at 3, I got these 3 types of content. You need some type of structure, some type of pattern with it, but those are the type of content that's going to win.
Awesome. Really great. So something that you were doing right now that you just started promoting, which is, I think is going to be fantastic. And this is one thing that a lot of people don't even think about as it relates to podcasting, is turning a podcast into an event you are generating leads from.
100%.
Can you talk a little bit about the strategy behind Podcast to Cash Tour?
Yeah, 100%. So the Podcast to Cash Tour is basically I'm bringing high-level entrepreneurs to different cities in front of an audience to display their area of expertise. So all this is, let's say, a room where you're able to do one too many. And podcasting brought me here. I've been able to speak on multiple stages. I've been able to articulate to my audience, get better at my messaging, all because of this. And I think that next level is live events and is streaming. Matter of fact, in about 5 months, we generated over $344,000 with a live podcast show strategy. And I gave that information for free on YouTube, right? So people want what I said earlier. They want access. They want experience. They'll pay for that. You know what I'm saying? So the live tour strategy is something that not only can you go and learn, but you can meet people. You might connect with a business partner. You can connect with the speakers on stage. You can get your content. You know what I mean? You can learn something that can level up and scale your business. You could just get into the room. And I think it's extremely important to have more of these opportunities. I had the privilege to go to Aspire Tour last year, and it really just gave me more of a vision, and I got more access. Like, I was sitting with so many amazing people, and I met so many amazing people, and it was because of that event. So I think live events are extremely important, and I think I have the number one, even though it's the first year, I got the number one business and podcast tour right now.
Yeah. Are those people that are attending, like the speakers that are attending to speak in front of those people, are they paying to present in front of those people, or are those like people that you invite?
That's a really great question. So how I move, even with this, I build an offer around it. So the tour in itself is an offer. So what it is I created an offer that gave speakers or business owners the ability to be speakers and have multiple events that they can get in front of multiple people, share their area of expertise, create data, create connections, develop relationships, share their offer, and get an ROI all in real time. So I'm able to help them get what they want. They're able to help me get, my vision fulfilled. And then ultimately it's a win-win because the audience, they're winning on both sides as well. So yeah, it's definitely 100% a framework.
Yeah. And obviously the other way that I don't know if you're doing that already, but incorporating and affiliated with those people that are doing or pitching their offers during that podcast, to get you a kickback
Yep.
for anybody that may have come to the event that may have purchased their offers as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you just hit it right on the head. There's so many other ways, and so many ways in general that we can make money. Like if I was a business owner and I have the ability to get on a stage, I 100% would take advantage of it. There's so many stages that I paid for, 2K, 3K, where I invested to get on a stage. I left with all the rich content, but I left with richer relationships. And I was able to get a 10x return. There's a stage I paid for that was 2K, but I made 21K because I wasn't afraid to invest in myself. The 21K was a byproduct. It was like in addition to, because the relationships that I made and the data collection that I left with, that was really why I came, plus the content. There was another stage I paid for. I invested $3,500. I made back $25,000. You know what I'm saying? So, but and you still got the content. So to me, it's a no-brainer. If I have to invest in myself to go on a stage, to get in front of people, I have a 10K offer, and I'm able to get in front of 100 people with my 10K offer, and it cost me $3K to do it. And I closed 10%, and that's 10 people. I just made 100,000. And those other people, I can still follow up and close those people.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer, bro.
Absolutely. You are tuning in to the DSF Talk Show, That's So Fire Talk Show. So if you are just tuning in, we are talking on
You need like a fire extinguisher.
Oh, I do have one over here.
Oh,
that's actually one of the thumbnails of the picture. And actually, I have some questions more about that on YouTube. But
Okay.
if you're just tuning in, we're talking about how to monetize your podcast, how you get it started. And if you want to learn more about all of those, definitely go to Instagram at @itbrendanboyd. And hit that follow button. He has a lot of great information in there that you can learn about starting your podcast and how to monetize it. What are some of the different ways that you can utilize your podcast to actually become a revenue center versus a cost center? But if you also want to tune in and want to continue watching interviews like this, having some really great guests like that, go to our new page on YouTube at DSF Talk Show and make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, I second that.
Awesome. So I have a bunch of questions for you over here. As it relates to growing YouTube, what is the most important? Is it the thumbnail, or is it the title, or is it the content?
Right now, I think it's the consistency. Because what if you get the thumbnail right, the title right, the content right, but you only posted once this month? I'd rather post every single month with a busted title, right, but nailing the content, than I would trying to get everything right and don't post that often. So to answer your question, it's all important, but the most important thing is the consistency. Outside of that, and I said this to Trevor and some of our other clients, if your content that you create can be engineered so it solves problems and can be the solution to what people are searching for, you have a higher chance that that content will be watched. But if I take something that Mr. Beast also shared a few times, change the metric from views, change the metrics from watch. Just make 100 videos. Just commit to making 100 videos. So what you should do right now, if you're watching this and you want to get serious about this, you can even use it for podcasts. Go to a place where you shoot podcasts, put a little paper on the wall, put 1 to 100, and then make that an intention that you do 100 episodes or 100 pieces of content. I bet you by the time you get from 1 to 100, you'll probably be part of the YouTube partnership program. You're going to have way more views. You're going to build an audience. You're going to be way more consistent. You'll be better at making content. You'll be a better speaker. All the things that really matter, you'll have in the byproduct, which is going to be monetization, partnership program, maybe affiliate offers, people that want to collaborate with you. And then you building that YouTube presence are going to come. Most of the most successful YouTubers, they've been on a platform over 5 years. So you just got to commit. I'm a YouTuber. So what do you do, man? Yeah, I'm a YouTuber that does real estate. Like, that's what you should be saying. I'm a YouTuber that does taxes. Because YouTube is long game, bro. It's like us investing in a a non-meme crypto, or it's like us investing in a stock, right? You're investing in digital real estate, your IP, your brand. So just make the content. Just be on. Don't try to catch a wave like, oh yeah, I need 100,000 subscribers by next month. Just commit to those 100 videos. You're going to be probably so surprised at that result that you get once you get to video 100, and then celebrate yourself at video 100.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that people do not do. Make sure that you are celebrating the milestone, even if it's small.
Yeah, I would make that a goal for sure.
Yeah, if you hit 50 followers, if you hit 100, if you hit, even though they might be small, celebrate those little wins.
Nah, I'm about to celebrate 10K on my YouTube. We're about a little less than 3,000 subscribers away. So if you're watching this right now, you're not subscribed to my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube. Once I get to 10K, I think I might give away 10K. Like give away $1,000 to like 10 people.
Yeah.
And make that a video for YouTube as well. But yeah, you gotta celebrate your milestones. So that's what I would say. Just commit to making 100 videos. But those 100 videos, use YouTube and ChatGPT. Hey, chat, I'm in the real estate space. I help people buy houses. Please help me create 100 videos that are solving the problems that buyers are asking for on YouTube and searching for on Google, so I can design videos to help them with those problems.
Yeah.
They're going to be searching for them.
Yeah. So you have 10K followers or subscribers on YouTube.
We got about 7K.
Yeah. So I was rounding up.
Okay.
You have 7K followers on YouTube.
We got 10K. You're right.
You mentioned that you were close to it.
Yeah.
But so you have nearly 10K followers on YouTube and over 72,000 on Instagram.
Yeah.
Which platform would you say that has generated the most revenue for you as it relates to that big number from Instagram versus a smaller number on YouTube?
I mean, right now, Instagram definitely, we made multiple six figures. I mean, honestly, I would say me achieving, like making multiple six figures and then hitting seven figures definitely came from Instagram. But it's only because I was putting more intention on Instagram. Now it's both. Like I have about, with the podcast plus the content that I create, I have about like over 30 videos just in the clip ready to release. So even with YouTube, I'm more passionate about YouTube, and I'm also passionate about Instagram in a different way. So I'm excited about both, man. I'm a podcaster, creator, digital media entrepreneur that also, helps people. That's how I look at it. Like, you got to lead with the content first. You want to talk about legacy at the end. I think if we talk about a little bit right now, I think if you create content, you're investing in the legacy. If you help people right now and you create content, you're already putting seeds out to create a legacy, because those videos can be shared, watched forever.
Yeah. So if somebody was starting their podcast now, what would you suggest that they do in their first 90 days?
Number one, I would just start with what you have. We talked about that earlier. Number two, I would commit to 100 episodes. Number three, if you don't know that podcast title, if you don't know the category of people you want to talk to, none of that matters. Start a show that says, this is a show with no name, where we interview exciting people. That's already a talking point. I bet you once you get to episode 20, you'll have a name, right? So I would just start. And if you don't know who you want to talk to, just talk to people. You talk to people every single day. So commit to just talking to people, even if you don't have a name, even if you don't have a category, just to get rolling. Because what do we say? We're going to make 100 videos. That journey of 100 videos, you're going to be a better speaker, better orator, better podcaster, better host, right? You're going to probably have a name for your show. You're going to know exactly who you want to talk to. Number three, I would put your offers together. And if you don't have an offer, the first two offers that everyone should have is the VIP package. That's just you packaging up the content, and an affiliate offer. And the easiest affiliate offer for you to have is right now, if you're watching this, do an audit of the products and services that you use in your life right now. What products are in your house? And where did you get those products from? Either the products themselves have an affiliate or the place that you got them from have an affiliate. What services do you use that are digital right now? Or maybe you get a meal plan every month. Those services probably have an affiliate. Now you have two offers. You got intention, you got a plan, you got an offer. And then number 4, you just got to execute.
Yeah.
And then number 5, you got to get a coach. You got to get a coach. You need somebody to hold you accountable.
Yeah. Why is it important to have a coach when you were thinking about starting your podcast?
Because if you don't have a coach, you don't know. First of all, you don't know what you don't know. So think about a horse with blinders on, right? A horse with blinders is like a coach. They can focus on what? Running the race. A horse ain't thinking about nothing else but getting to the finish line. But once the blinders is off, like no coach, you're like, damn, how's that video? I don't know if I want to drop this video. I didn't like this shirt. Damn, it's Friday. I didn't drop a video. It's okay. I'm going to do one next week. Oh, it's next Friday. I didn't drop a video. It's okay. I'm going to do one the week after. Damn, it's been a month. I didn't drop no videos. I don't do this no more. You need a coach. You need someone that's going to be like, yo, where's that video on Friday? Every Friday, 12 o'clock, boom, drop that video. Oh, you know what? Get better with this. Get better with this. Use this software. Use this AI. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, we got a meeting. We're going to be meeting in person. We're going to be meeting on Zoom. This is your strategy. Here's your check-in. Need someone that knows how to get you from point A to point B, either because they've done it already and they got a blueprint or they got a framework. And at the very least, they can hold you accountable for the thing that you say that you want.
Yeah.
How can I say that I want to learn tennis? I don't know nothing about tennis, and I don't get no tennis coach. I don't watch no tennis videos, right? And I don't even know how to swing a racket, but I'm like, yo, I want to learn tennis. Sound crazy, bro.
Yeah. So obviously, starting a podcast or kind of producing a bunch of content to make sure that you are growing on social media can be extremely hard to be consistent. So what are some of the things that you would suggest for anybody that wants to be consistent on social media to do to ensure that they're maintaining that consistency?
Well, what I would say, number 1 is intention again. You want to do long form content or you want to do short? Then I would say, let's make it easy for you. Because sometimes if you got a plan, you're going to stay in the planning mode. So the next thing I would say, maybe you're better at documenting content. So Myron Golden, right?
Mm-hmm.
He went crazy on YouTube, but he doesn't make content. You know what he does?
Documenting.
He documents. What he does is he's like, I'm really good on stage. I'm really good talking in front of people. So what I'm going to do a couple times a week or once a week, I'm just going to invite people to be in the room for free. And I'm going to teach them stuff. I'm going to share messages and you guys are going to record it. That's my YouTube video. So figure out what is going to make it easy for you to do the thing. So if you're someone that likes, let's say, matcha, make a matcha talk. If you get a matcha every single day, you go to the same cafe, maybe bring your phone and a mic or whatever you have, start with what you have, and then sit down in a chair outside the cafe or in the cafe, depending on what environment you're in, because it might be cold, unless you're in Miami or Tampa, right? Turn on the camera and just give a matcha talk rant. Hey, what's up, y'all? Today, I'm having an iced matcha with coconut milk, a splash of lavender, and I'm actually trying a little bit of espresso. I know. You might not like your matcha with espresso, but I do. So on today's rant, I'm going to be talking about how you can do anything that you want if you just put your mind to. And I know that you heard this before because your mom probably told you, your dad probably told you, you probably read it in a book. But guess what? You need to hear it again because you're not doing the thing. You're not showing up for yourself. You said you want to make $1 million with a podcast and you ain't even start. When are you going to start? This matcha is good, man. Listen, by the way, if you guys want to get a matcha, use my code below and head over to the Matcha Cafe affiliate link. Now you're doing 2 things at one time. You're making content, you're helping somebody, right? And you got an affiliate. And you're not making no content. You're going to have the rant anyway because maybe normally during your matcha talk, you call Jet for our morning conversation. So you already have the morning conversation. You already get the matcha. You already go to the cafe. The only part you're missing is just turning the camera on.
Yeah.
Because now you don't got to create. Now you're just documenting. But if you're someone that likes to create, then you create. If you're someone that likes to be in a studio, get a studio membership. Just show up. Say, hey, Jet, I need your package, bro. Because I want to make content, but I don't want to edit nothing. I don't want to think about the ideas. I want to read from a teleprompter. I want to have my fits. I need the engineer. I need y'all to clip it up. But that might be your style. You might be like, I'm talent. I just want to show up, but I know what I want. So I'm going to show up. I'm going to read from teleprompter. I need 20 topics a week. I need you to edit it. I need you to post it, across these platforms. I need this lighting. And that's how I flow. So figure out how to make content to make it easy for you, taking out the thinking part.
Yeah.
Once you do that, you can cook. Now we're being consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. How important is branding when you're starting a podcast?
I think branding is important, but it's not super important to start. So I'm gonna give you two answers. I think if you're harping on branding and it stops you from doing the thing, then don't worry about the branding. But if you're someone that's just going to be like, okay, I'm already consistent, now I want to implement brand, I think it's extremely valuable and powerful, because what do you say when you went to the event? Dude want to connect with you. He's looking for the red shoes. That's brand, right? Right now we're branding. We both got glasses on, right? I'm wearing the Brennan Boy Speaks t-shirt. Your branding might be the colors. It might be the studio you're in. It could be that matcha top. It's extremely important because now, like Kleenex or Q-tip, people are not asking for a cotton swab. They're not asking for a tissue. They're asking for a brand. And once they start asking for brand, value increases, right? So why can Chanel charge what they charge? How come a Lamborghini is more it costs more than a Honda? Brand. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, branding is extremely important.
Yeah. How do you structure a very well done podcast?
Man, you're hearing some fire questions. I actually dropped a video on this too on YouTube. So if we had to break it down in simple terms, you need an intro, you need a body, you need an end. If you can create an intro, the body's way more flex, but obviously we can get even nuanced in here. But you have the end, you pretty much good. How do you start your show? Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the XYZ podcast, where we talk to your favorite 8-figure entrepreneur. On today's show, that's my intro. On today's show, we have an 8-figure entrepreneur in the media space, my guy Jet, and we're in his studio today. That's the intro. We're gonna give him the. You know how we started off? We let these people earn their right to be a guest. So Jet, in 30 seconds, why should people listen to you? Boom, that could be part of the intro that leads to the body. And then your body, you craft it how you craft it. Maybe it's more conversational. Maybe it's rapid fire. Maybe it's like a red table talk. Maybe it's just like a rant. Maybe it's just you and I going back and forth. That body's gonna be more native to like how you want to like have your show, how you want the feel of your show to be. And then at the end, all right, y'all, we made it to the end. So I got to hit them with it. Hey, yo, Jet, hold your hand out. Hold your hand out. At the end, we give everyone a dap. That's the power dap. So this is how we end the show. Hey, guys, make sure you tap into my guy, Jet. Get his new book, How You Can Get Your Next 8 Figures in Media. And hey, bro, you got anything you want to leave them off with? And then boom, maybe that's how so having an intro, having a body, and then having an end. Those 3 elements, you're good. Can you add on to that? Of course. But those 3 things, if you can keep that in mind, you can have a successful show to start.
Yeah. So for a lot of people that are producing podcasts for YouTube, what is the best way to get started? Is it like to post those long form content, the hour podcast, or is it to break it down into smaller 5-minute segments, or maybe turn that into a bunch of reels?
To get started?
Yeah.
This is a great question. So podcasting to me is just long form content, right? So I would say choose something that's going to be consistent. So if you can do 10-minute videos consistently, 15-minute videos consistently, a half an hour, don't feel like, hey, we got to keep talking another 30 minutes because I told myself I'm going to do 60-minute shows. And it's like, now in your mind, you're like, damn, I need 6 more questions. Nah, if you could do this in 20 minutes, that's cool. 20-minute show, keep it tight. whatever you can do consistently is what I encourage people to do, because now you're going to take the stress and the pressure off having to create or having to produce. Whatever you could do naturally is going to be way easier for you to do consistently. So that's what I would say. So even at the very least, if you only want to have 3-minute talks, you want to put those across social media, you can definitely put those on YouTube. And that's what you want to do, I encourage you to do that. Now, the most important thing is you have to make sure there's 2 things exist if you really want a podcast. One, it has to, well, actually 3. 1, record yourself. You need the video element. 2026, people care about video. More people are now going on to video podcasts than the audio podcast. Matter of fact, there's so many video podcasts that don't even have an audio component, right? So number 1, make sure you record the podcast. Number 2, make sure the video is horizontal so it can be manipulated, meaning now you can have vertical videos. If you shoot it vertical, you're going to have horizontal videos with the black, corners or the blurry corners if you try to put it on YouTube long form. And then number 3, I would make sure I take the audio and also put it on the audio platforms for people that want to actually experience the audio only. Now you actually have a show, a podcast that's audio, that's visual, and can be on social media.
Fantastic. So now we are going to do our quick rapid fire questions.
Pew, pew, pew.
Let's go. By the way, anybody watching right now, if you have any questions, this is the time for you to type them in the comments.
Yeah, drop those questions
drop
in the
some
chat,
questions over there. We'll be answering them shortly. So rapid fire question. Number 1, what is the biggest podcast mistakes that you see people make out there?
I think the biggest podcast mistake is relying on brand deals and sponsorships, because you can't scale brand deals and sponsorships. You don't have control over that. There's other people that's going to make decisions, and it's going to be hard for you to scale. I think having a brand deal or a sponsor should be in addition to you having an offer. So I guess also not having an offer and then relying on brand deals and sponsorships is probably a really big detriment.
Awesome. When somebody started their podcast, what is the one thing that they need to stop doing to ensure that they continue to grow?
Oh, man, that's a great question. Anything that stops them from being consistent.
One thing that they need to stop doing.
Something that they need to stop doing. You need to stop procrastinating. Stop procrastinating. Just put it out. Put out the content. Be consistent. Get out of your own way, man. There's this book I mentioned on Vegas podcast. I don't know if you read it. It's called Outwitting the Devil. Have you read it?
I've not read it
So
yet.
Outwitting the Devil is a book by Napoleon Hill. If I summarize it, Napoleon Hill is having a conversation throughout the book with the devil. He's asking questions like, how do you manipulate people? How do you get people, to not do what they're supposed to do? And basically the devil says, I get them to drift. So anything that prevents you from doing the thing that you want to do or adds into procrastinating or stalling or making excuses, that's drift. So if you can remove the drift and pick a day, pick a time, and I think importantly nowadays, pick a creation day time. So you have a day where you're gonna create content, you have a day where you're gonna release content, and then show up for yourself. I think that'll 100% help.
Awesome. Next question. What is one habit that top creators have?
Man, I mean, if we keeping it simple, top creators just consistency, and they have an intention. They're not worrying about, I don't want to say they're not worried about the views. But the views is secondary to them doing the thing and executing. And they know what they're going towards. So top creators know what their goal is. They show up consistently. They're going on other people's platforms. They're getting exposure. And the main thing is they're being consistent.
Awesome. I think probably the biggest lessons that you can take away from this talk show today is intention, consistency are probably the biggest 2 things that you can do if you want to grow your podcast on any of the social media platforms.
And have a coach.
Have a coach.
100%. Yeah. Have a coach for sure.
All right. So I have 5 questions that I always ask any of my guests over here. So we're going to go to those 5 questions now, and then we'll wrap up the show today. The very first question, what is your $1 million advice as it relates to starting a podcast and growing your podcast?
My $1 million advice, I like to make it really simple. So if you have a podcast and you want to make $1 million, you need to have an offer, right? We already kind of established this earlier. You need to have an offer. But even beyond having an offer, once you establish that, you need to think about, okay, cool. How many of my offer do I need to convert so I can actually gross $1 million? And then 2, where are my leads coming from? Am I going to use my podcast to generate my leads, right? So then we kind of talk about, well, we didn't really talk about it, but my podcast to cash strategy is a strategy where you use your podcast as a lead generation platform. So every guest that you have, every conversation that you have can lead to cash. Then we just do the math. So if I got a 15K offer, 67 of those sales grosses $1 million. So if I know that 90% of the people are showing up for the podcast and I have a 50% conversion rate, what I need to do is I have to make sure I have at the very least 134 conversations. Because if I can convert 50 of them, I just made $1 million.
Yeah. This is not part of the 5 questions, but now imagine me sitting.
Now 6 questions?
6 questions. Now imagine me sitting on that couch where now you become the therapist.
In a sense.
In a sense. Yeah. You've kind of seen the studio. You've seen my page to promote the podcast. You've seen all my social media content. What are some of the things from an outside perspective that you see that I'm leaving on the table that could potentially add on to growing the podcast or growing the show?
Got you. So one of the things I would do if I was coaching you, I would say having the people come here. Well, first off, I would do an audit of your offers. So I would see what offers you have. Once I did an audit of your offers, I would suggest that we potentially add in a virtual component. I'll give you an example. We got to make sure that first, when people apply, that you have the exact questions that you need them to ask to figure out if they would be a good fit for whatever your offers are.
Which we do.
You do, right? Now, what I would say is, hey, you just unlocked a free virtual podcast for That's So Fire. It's going to be Monday at 8. If you would like to unlock an in-person version that comes with boom, 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 your VIP package is this price. So you can have your free, we already know, bro, we're streaming. Look at the level of production. They're going to get that anyway, right? So they can experience the podcast for free, virtual. They're not going to be upset. It's less time for you, and you can knock them out. You could probably do 3, 4, 5 in a day, let's just say. A percentage of those people are going to upgrade for this experience. You get tour, you get pictures, you get behind the scenes, you get to lead with the content, and it's $3K or whatever you want to charge. You have content of me and everyone else that you interviewed. You show that in the sizzle reel. You want to upgrade your free virtual podcast experience for the in-person experience. This is what it looks like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you turn that into one offer. Now, the people that line up for the virtual or the people that line up for the in-person, it doesn't matter. You still offer them or close them on your other offer at the end. What is that other offer? Maybe it's a studio offer. That's why we do your offer audit. But maybe it's a studio offer. Hey, listen, you want to shoot here consistently? You want to do your podcast here consistently? You want to do content here consistently? Hey, sign up for our subscription. Everyone's going to get that offer at the end, regardless if they're virtual or in person, but you're able to save yourself time, right? Because now you're interviewing less people in person. You just do the ones that you might want to do based on you. But you're able to now go through more people with the virtual in a day, in a week, in a month. And you just added an offer on the front end. So now you can get more front end money. You make that in-person offer way more valuable, perceived value. Yeah, bro, I want to come in person. I want to be in the studio. Yeah. Okay, cool. Upgrade, boom, 3,000, whatever it is. And those same people, you're able to close them on a higher offer on the back end.
Yeah. The reason I ask you that question, some of the things that you discussed, we already implementing, but I wanted to the people that are watching that to see the power of having a coach, the
100%.
Power of kind of
and this is me off the top. I don't even know what you really got going on, but this is just me off the top.
Yeah, and that was actually fantastic. And for anybody that is watching that, definitely reach out to this guy and make sure that he helps you set up your podcast.
Yeah. I know a little
correctly.
something about a little something.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, 100%. So, third question: if you had to go back to day one, what advice would you have given to yourself when you were first starting with podcast?
Man, I would say commit to YouTube. Commit to YouTube like you commit to the gym. That's what I would say. Then I would create an offer. And I would use podcasting how I use it right now as a client acquisition system that sells high ticket. And the high ticket would be for my whatever offer I have. In addition to that, I would hire an editor or a redistribution specialist, a clipper. And I'd be like, yo, this is the budget. We need this distributed across multiple platforms as, you know, as consistent as possible, you know, daily, weekly, you know, whatever that strategy is. I would do that. The next thing I would do is I would make sure that I buy tickets to whatever high-level conferences or events that are in my city. And I would go to them and I would interview high-level people for free. Because if I interview high-level people for free, it's going to make people that look up to those people want to also be interviewed by me, and then those are the people that I charge. So if I go, let's say, to a real estate event, and let's say Ryan Serhant's there, and I'm able to get a 5-minute interview with Ryan Serhant, mission accomplished. Now when I put that out, there's gonna be other people that look to Ryan Serhant, they're gonna be like, yo, I want to come on too. Okay, cool. It's $2,500. Boom. Now I'm stacking my relationship capital. Now I'm next to these people. Now people want to be like, well, who's that? I want to have a conversation with him too. Okay, cool. This is where you pay me. Yeah. So I would, those are the things I would do. And I would definitely hire a coach.
Awesome. Fourth question: what are some of the resources / books that you would recommend for anybody that wants to start with their podcasting or even like growing their social media content? What is one book or one resource that you would recommend that they can get right now to get started?
Got you. When it comes to growing, I think there's probably 2 books I would recommend. Well, probably 3, but I'll give you one first. One is Superfan. Superfan is a great book because it teaches you about building an audience and that you can really go crazy with 1,000 true fans. That's a really good book, Superfans. The other book I would get is Sell Like Crazy. That author is Sabri Subri, because you're gonna need to learn how to sell. And it's not even like you need to be like a hard ticket, hard closer type person. You just need to know the art of selling. Like that's how the world goes around. Everybody's selling stuff. So sell like crazy. The next book I would probably get is, I would get honestly any of this series from Alex Hormozi, whether it's leads, 100 million leads, offers, or money models. It doesn't matter because they all kind of touch, you know, the nucleus of what he's talking about. So I would definitely get that. Now, when it comes to money, I think that you guys definitely need to tap in. So Tony Robbins has a book, Money Master the Game. I think that's a really good framework for you to really get the money mindset going. Because at the end of the day, you could be a creator all you want. You can be talented all you want. But the agent is the one that really got it. Or the owner is the one that really got it. So you need to understand, hey, in this 2026, I need to be talented, I need to be a creator, but I also need to have that business acumen, that entrepreneurship acumen, because I really want to scale up to the next level. Because you can be creating forever and don't make no money. Just like musicians. A lot of musicians are just making music. They don't got a bag. So you need kind of both. So I would recommend those books. Superfans, Money Master the Game. Let's say anything from Alex Hormozi, 100 million leads, offers, or money models. And then the last one I said was Sell It Like Crazy. Right? Sell It Like Crazy. Sabri Subri.
Yeah. I'm gonna probably turn this into 2 questions. I'm adding more questions.
Okay.
What is the biggest? That's the
so this podcast probably doesn't suck then at this point. He's coming up with more questions.
Yeah. What is the biggest lesson that you've learned along the way when you were growing through social media and podcasting and YouTube?
This is a big one, bro. And it has nothing to do with podcasting. It has nothing to do with YouTube. Nothing to do with social media. I'm going to give you two answers. One is going to be, you got to think bigger. So think about this. And I mean no disrespect. But the average U.S. citizen makes about $60,000. It takes them 12 months to do that. It does not take 12 months to make $60,000. And you're going to get taxed on that. It does not take you 12 months to make $60,000. That's a lie. It doesn't take you 6 months to make $60,000. It doesn't take you 3 months to make $60,000. It doesn't take you a month to make 60. It doesn't take you a week to make 60,000. It doesn't take you an hour to make 60,000. You guys can make it in a day, in a minute. So just expanding the mindset that you're not limited to the money that you're making right now. Money's infinite. Like, if we got all these billionaires and all these multimillionaires and still people becoming billionaires and millionaires, that means money's infinite. It's infinite. So just expanding, that was probably the biggest thing that I learned when I went to that Nehemiah Davis event and Myron was there and he made $3.8 million in 45 minutes. And then Neil was like, yo, if you want to make money, just double your price. The limitations are all in your mind. If you think that you need to work 40 hours for 12 months and take one holiday a month and take one vacation a month and just get off on holidays for you to bring in 60,000, you're mistaken. It's no disrespect. You just bought into a lie. So that's number one. Because I bought into that same lie at some point. Somebody had to open up my eyes. Right? So that's number one. Number one is really understanding that the limitations that we have were pressed upon us, given to us, and you're just acting in accordance with someone else's design. So you need to break from that programming. The second thing was identity, bro. This one's a tough one because if we want to be 8-figure earners, right? We can make that decision today. We can get a book, we can get a coach, we can get a mentor, we can watch YouTubes, and there's a path already laid out. We just have to do it. The biggest thing that's separating us from doing that is our previous identity. Because if you see yourself like a certain way, or if you handle yourself like a certain way, you're going to get what that result is going to give you. The 8-figure earner is acting like an 8-figure earner. So you don't have to be an 8-figure earner to be an 8-figure earner. You can act like an 8-figure earner right now, and that makes you an 8-figure earner. The result is the 8 figures. So if you want to be crazy in the gym, fit, lose weight, muscles, whatever, you just have to do the training. The result of that is how you look. Hey, 12 months, you're going to look like this. 8 weeks, you're going to look like this. This 4-month program is over, you're going to look like this. You just got to follow. You got to follow the man. You got to follow the meal plan. Show up at the gym, do the workouts, put in that work, but you got to strip away that identity that's keeping you where you're at. So those two things, bro. Those are probably the biggest lessons. And identity, the thing is this, identity and then mindset, these are things that are going to be consistent throughout your life. I mean, you could rest on your laurels at some point if you just want to chill, or hey, my goal is really $250,000. So if that's what you want, then there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, whatever you want is already been done. People are already doing it. So there's a path for you to get there. But what's stopping you is one, your mindset. And then when the other thing that's limiting you is your view on yourself, which is your identity.
Yeah. Boom. Last question before we close the podcast today. What was the biggest failure that you had as you were growing your social media? Mm-hmm. And how did you overcome that? What is the lesson that you can teach somebody right now watching this from that?
So my biggest L on social media was, I guess I got two, but essentially the same thing. I got scammed too. So my biggest L was, I used a sub agent to help me get some guests on a show. And that sub agency, because I didn't have that relationship. So sometimes I collaborate, to get guests on shows. So that sub agent, he basically scammed me. He took the bread. He didn't deliver the shows. So what happened was, it was $45,000, between all the guests I was getting on the show. that $45,000, I had to pay it back while I'm fighting this dude to get the money back that he took. So really I'm down 90, right? Because I got to pay these people back and I got to get my money back. So that's one of the biggest L's. Why? Because something like that could derail someone from being productive. But what did I say earlier? You got to find the lessons. That lesson I'm sharing with you guys right now. It happened to me. That doesn't mean I'm high or low because it happened. It means I'm resilient because I'm still here to tell the story. So understanding that the money's not even a big thing. You can lose money. You could say, hey, I spent money on this car and this car ended up being a lemon. That might have been a scam. I mean, maybe you spent $5,000 on food this month. Maybe that's your scam. At the end of the day, the money's going to go. The integral part is me making the clients whole, keeping my relationships, sacrificing the income that I would have generated that month and putting myself in a hole because I need to make my clients whole while I'm still driving the ship and generating revenue. So that was probably the biggest lesson that I learned through social in terms of taking an L, but being able to navigate through it. If I need to add another thing in there, this wasn't what I was going to share because it has nothing to do with like taking a financial L, but I would say creating a team and a structure. So if you have at least one person that you can put into your business, maybe this is an operator or this is someone that helps you create your SOPs and keeps your structure, that's going to put you in a great position because once you're able to build some level of a system, it's going to be way easier for you to generate leads, book calls, closes sales, or if you got a product that's not dependent on you providing service and they just go to the website and then purchase it, or that service is provided independent of you, you have a system that can deliver that process and it's not 100% dependent on you. I think that's huge. So for a while, that was my biggest bottleneck.
Yeah.
So I think those two things.
Awesome. So you have the Podcast to Cash tour coming up starting in January.
Yep.
You're going to be hitting a bunch of really big cities and hosting events and doing that. For people that might be interested in that, can you share a little bit about what is it?
Yep.
What are some of the things that they're going to be able to take away from that and how they can get tickets?
100%. So if you guys want tickets, head over to the podcasttocashtour.com. Spell it out. Podcasttocashtour.com. And any ticket, $99 level and up, you get to bring a guest. So that means the ticket is essentially half price. So if you just need to get in the room, there's a $49 ticket. But any ticket from $99 up, you get to bring a guest. So I'm making it extremely easy for you guys. And then as far as what you're going to learn is, I got my guy Trevor Calais. He's gonna be coming through helping veterans. So if you've been a veteran and you want to learn how to get started in business, post service, he's gonna have the information for you. I'm gonna have my guy Nestor Rodriguez. If you want to know more about the health and wellness space, maybe TRT, maybe peptides, maybe how to get started in the business, he's gonna be there giving that game. If you are in the real estate space and you're a buyer or a seller's agent, and you want to know how to create a vertical integrated offer and process so you can make more money and close more deals, my guy John is going to be there giving that game. And I got a host of other special guests that's going to be popping in here and there. But I definitely got to make sure that you guys tap into my guy Charles Noonan, who's going to be teaching you how to acquire property in the state of Florida for under $2,000. And then how to take that property and flip that property to make $10,000 or develop that property or turn that property to an Airbnb. And as a bonus, I'm just there. And I'm going to teach you how to leverage podcasting as a tool so you can monetize or attach it to your current business so you can make more money. Podcasttocashtour.com. Grab a ticket, at least $99. Bring a friend. Let's go crazy. And all 2026 is what we got going on.
And you forgot to mention it's podcasttocashtour.com /Evotion I'm joking. You know, that affiliate that you were talking
I
about.
give you affiliate link. But see, so it'd be podcastacasttour.com. And then when you get to the checkout page, you could put in the word Evotion, EVOTION.
Yeah.
Right? Put in the word Evotion. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give him a 20% affiliate. No, matter of fact, 50% affiliate link. We're going to give him a 50% affiliate link. So every time you buy a ticket, my man over here, you put in that code Evotion, he's going to get 50%. And if you want to actually become an affiliate of the tour, hit my Instagram DM at It's Brendan Boyd. Just say partner. At It's Brendan Boyd partner. I'll give you a link to become an affiliate. And if you can promote the tour, you'll get 50% too.
That's the power of podcasts. I was joking, saying, you know, because that's one of the ways that he taught you earlier that you can
so on your
actually
next show,
monetize.
you can start promoting that.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. There you have it. Any parting advice for anybody watching this?
Anyone watching this, what I would like to say is, I mean, we gave you guys some vocabulary words. We talked about identity. We talked about mindset. We talked about consistency. We talked about having a strategy, which also goes with having a plan. Having $1 million podcast or $1 million YouTube is not as far off as you think. Matter of fact, I asked him to mention money. Why? Because we all need to be making money. Everyone watching this, you have an opportunity to become a millionaire if that's what you desire. It's really not that far off. Product, service, consistency, some coaching, some direction, you can get there. And here's a cheat code. If you're in a relationship, you can get there faster. If you got a brother or sister, you can get there faster. If you got somebody that can be on your team, it can be down with you, you guys can get there faster because 2 heads are better than 1, 4 eyes are better than 2, and then 2 people with that energy going in the same direction, crazy.
Yeah. Earlier, you shared something that they can text a number to get a something. You want to share that here as
100%.
well?
If you guys made it this far in a podcast, I got to clap it up. It up. It's been some time, but I'm clapping up because I want to congratulate you because most people never make it this far, but you have. So that means you're really serious about growing and scaling, going to the next level. So what I want you to do right now, I have a free training I want to give you. Text the word class, CLASS, to 213-410-4920. I'm going to give you access to a free training to teach you how to monetize your podcast completely for free. Text the word class to 213-410-4920. And you'll get access to that as well.
Boom. That should have been text to Evotion, so that way you can know.
I can give you that too. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, it's been such a pleasure having you. I know we've talked about this probably for 3 months, 4 months for you to come and.
You need a remote. You need a remote spot in Miami.
There you go. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, if you had a remote location in Miami, I would have been there.
Done that. There you have it. I hope that you guys were able to learn a thing or two from the podcast. And again, thank you for all of the people that tuned in to stay here. If you're still here, obviously it's fantastic because this is probably one of the longest podcasts that we've done.
Word?
Yeah.
That's fire.
We've done another 2 hours.
That's
so fire, baby. But again, if you're watching this and you want to learn more from Brendan, go to his Instagram at It's Brendan.
No. If y'all want to learn more, come to the tour. Podcast at Cast Tour. Get in the room. Use code Evotion. Get in the room. Let me teach you in person. I want to meet you. I want to sit down with you. If you want the highest level access, there is a diamond ticket. We'll go to dinner. We'll spend some time if you want that level of access. But get in the room. My life changed when I got in the room. Okay? Guess what? I was somebody's +1. So I'm giving you guys a free +1. You paid $99 for a ticket and up, you can get access to bring a free +1. My life changed once I got in a room. I'm trying to tell y'all, and I got in the room on a free ticket. I did have to pay for my hotel. I had to pay for my Ubers. I had to pay for my food, and I had to pay for my flight. But I was willing to do that because I knew I had to learn something. I knew that there was something that I didn't know that helped me change my life. forever. And I wouldn't be the person I am, and I wouldn't be moving on the identity level that I'm moving on if I didn't sacrifice and get in a room. So get in the room. You can go to my Instagram, but go to podcastingcasttour.com, grab that $99 ticket at minimum, bring your +1, get in the room. We got Orlando, we got Miami, and we got Atlanta coming up. Get in the room.
There you have it, baby. Let's go. I hope you guys learned a ton from this guy right here. Such a pleasure having you on the show. You know what it is? It's fire, baby. Mic drop. Let's go.
Let's go.